All right, for all of my men that are out there dating, I have a message for you. It is time to stop blaming the dating apps, to stop blaming the women, to stop blaming the economy. Whatever story you're telling yourself, it's ending today. If you're struggling to find love or connection, the problem is not out there. It's actually staring back at you in the mirror. Look, I know that that can be hard to hear, but what if I told you that finding love is actually way easier than you think? That your external world, those failed dates, those ghosting experiences, those there's no good women left moments and thoughts, that is actually just a direct reflection of what's happening inside of you. And most importantly, what if I told you that once you understood this and really, really grasped it, that everything could change, that your dating life could change, and just your life overall could look drastically different? Welcome back to The Naked Connection. This is the show for driven men to reach sexual mastery and build deep connections. It's Kirsten. And before we go any further, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button, leave a comment or review. It helps the show and it helps you. So today I am joined by Natalie Stavola. She is a relationship coach who is about to really flip the script around your perspective on dating and love. She believes that finding the right person is a lot simpler than we make it. And she is here to show you exactly how your inner game is creating your outer reality. And if you are already in a relationship or not dating, please do not leave, because this insight and this perspective and really this psychological lens through which Natalie and I explore the topic of dating and love is so applicable to you regardless of your relationship status. So with that, you guys, let's get some. Natalie Stavola, welcome to The Naked Connection.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I know that you have said, this is the first thing I want to get into with you. You have said that finding love and success is a lot easier than people think. And when I heard and saw you say that, I was like, this is so opposite of what people are saying in today's day and age. And I thought it was so refreshing. And I want to know what makes you say this, and what are people that are single or dating in a relationship, what are they getting wrong?
Oh my goodness. Oh, we just going into it first. Okay. So you are correct. The marketing and propaganda, that's out there right now is geared towards people's pain points. And so when people are afraid of being alone or things are difficult, people are going to structure their PR to pull you in, but also they believe it. It's called a confirmation bias and self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So whenever we believe that something's hard, you're going to keep getting around people that things are difficult. You get in and out of toxic relationships. You see the world as hard. Here's what's absolutely amazing. Since the dawn of time, people have figured this out, whether they've communicated it, written in hieroglyphics, like people have absolutely figured this out. When you self-actualize and you discover more about yourself, you pause a little bit more, you process your emotions, you start realizing that what you see outside of you is only a reflection of what's going on inside of you, your subconscious. If you don't like what you see, change the channel. It's just from the wounds of your childhood. You can heal those and then point yourself in this direction. And now this is the channel that you're seeing. This information has been out there for eons and eons and eons. When you realize that things in front of you are just a mirror to you, suddenly everything becomes like a video game, like a really amazing, fun video game. If you don't like what you see, heal from that, change that, get boundaries, stop walking to that same bar, stop trying to go to clubs thinking that you're going to find the love of your life. Take a hard look at where are you angry? Where are you sabotaging? And you can break down your patterns. Now, what can be more difficult is if you just try and do it alone versus get some help from someone that you trust.
Someone might be listening and be like, But Natalie, I can't get dates. Like the dating apps give me no returns. Like women don't give me their phone number when I talk to them in life. What do you say to someone who is failing in their actions and in their mind?
Then it's an internal game. You're trying to make an external thing make you feel better. And what's happening is that your energy is coming off as angry, desperate, painful. So you're upset because you're in pain inside. And instead of doing your inner work and actually like healing from the pain of, you know what, it does suck that you've been alone. It does suck that you've had to go out there and find people and get rejected. That does suck. Let's not discount that. I do not believe in toxic positivity. So yes, it's now what do we do about it? So you're in pain. Okay, let's heal from that first, because what's happening is that that pain is now stacked up in you. And instead of releasing it, you're lashing out at women around you and you're sabotaging. How does that manifest? You swipe on the wrong people and then you'll just overswipe. But you don't realize that in your bio, you have a dead giveaway that you're angry inside and that you hate yourself or you hate others. No BS zone, drama-free zone. Don't be talking to your toxic ex around me. Dead ringer for a quality woman's going to go, okay, he's not safe inside. And if you're not safe inside, that means that if I come to you and I'm safe by accident, you will not know how to receive me because that's a cognitive dissonance. Swiping when you're on the app, when you're hungry, horny, angry, lonely, or tired, I tell my clients, oh,
Yeah.
don't you dare. That's like going to the grocery store high and wondering why you got back a bunch of junk or nothing at all or didn't even go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Let's say looking at this, your external world is a reflection of your internal world.
Yes.
What's like a concrete example for someone where this concept might be new to them? Like how, like you mentioned this piece about who you're actually matching with, but like what's a good example of how this shows up in a man's dating life?
Let's say that when you're out and you're dating, when you're upset with gold diggers and you hate gold diggers, how it manifests is by accident. You actually get really flashy. You start taking photos with you in a Lamborghini. You don't share anything about yourself of quality on an app. You don't talk about how you love playing the violin or you go on long walks or, you're actually really close to your mom or like you have volunteer. You don't say any of that. You just flex your watch. You do some green Lamborghini. And then you wonder why the women that you're matching with are gold diggers. And so you're angry at them and you're like, women are all gold diggers. But then we take a look at how you're showcasing and how you're speaking. A woman who's done her inner work, who wants a quality man, is going to look at you and go, oh, he's really cute. I'm sure he makes a lot of money, but so do I. So
Yeah.
I don't need the dude who flexes the watch, who's secretly afraid of admitting he loves romance novels. I don't need to do. Most men I know love romance rom-coms. They do love the rom-coms. That one's funny. If you don't love rom-coms as a man, it's okay. I'm not saying secretly all men love rom-coms. But
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so that's a great example. Using that example, what do you think? I guess I can backtrack because when I hear that, I think to myself, like you mentioned cognitive distortions or cognitive dissonance, like what is the underlying belief in that person that is, because how we behave is in many ways a reflection of how we think. What is the thought or the belief that someone like that is stuck in?
yeah,
Like
so let's say
basically perpetuating this.
yes. So the one that keeps going on dating apps who like swipes but doesn't get anything, gets rejected all the time. The whispers in his head will be, and women, this applies to you too, but the whispers in his head are women are blank, awful. I'm always getting rejected. I hate this. There's something wrong with me.
Mm.
I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be seen. It's always one step forward, two steps back. Another one is I'm not safe and relationships aren't safe. What that does is that makes you really guarded and changes your behaviors. It makes you come off like very dicey, very guarded. And so if you try to approach a woman, they're going to pick up your tenseness, your energy, your anger, and they're going to shut down. And then you're not going to get the number and you're going to perpetuate that more. See, look, I knew it. Women suck. I always get rejected. Meanwhile, you came up behind her and scared the ever living daylights out of her. And then and you're like, what? Or she's sad and crying, but you're so stuck in your head and so desperate for a phone number that you don't realize not the appropriate time to try and get someone's number when they're sad, right? But you're listening to those negative voices. And here's what's really interesting. All of us, every one of us, we pick up energy. We pick up other people's energy. We pick up everyone's moods. We pick up cues. We pick up social cues. So if you don't like the woo-woo speak, you can keep it very scientific with, we pick up cues. If we're standing next to someone and they're tense and they're, moving around and they're not grounded, we naturally pick up a social cue that they're hiding something or that they're not safe or that they're suppressing, right? That there's something off or something off around them. So we tense up. It happens in war. When you guard up, other people around you guard up. So with my men, I teach them how to drop into their body and ground and just breathe deeply into your stomach. It's the craziest thing, but that makes people gravitate towards you. And what it does is it actually gets you out of amygdala. It gets you out of reptilian brain, the fight or flight. So some of my guys out there, if you guys ever try and talk to a woman and you notice that you freeze and you don't know what to say and you just clam up, don't worry. It's just because you're in your head, you're trapped in the thoughts, and you started going up here and the blood stopped circulating to your body. It's okay. Take 3 deep breaths into your stomach and it automatically drops you into your body and grounds you. And the women, and men around you too, people will just, what's something about him?
Yeah.
Now, the inner work when you do it can make that more permanent where you're naturally grounded, breathing, and not stuck in your head. But that's just like a quick trick out of it.
Okay. There's so much inside of this. I wonder.
So much.
Yeah. I think like where does someone go from here? Maybe they're like, oh, because I know this for myself. I've gotten into a space now where I'm like, oh, I can see my pattern. I can see my pattern and I'm like, this is not the pattern that I want to be living in.
Right.
And I'm noticing the thoughts that I'm having and the actions that are coming as a result and like the self-fulfilling prophecy that I have created for myself in my love life story. Not quite a rom-com yet. And
more like a dark dramedy on mine sometimes, but it's funny.
And so where does one go from there to actually start the action of shifting it? I know you just mentioned the power of breath to ground, which is so powerful, like getting into the body and making things like that a practice. What else can someone do? Let's be honest. You want to be that man, the man that she can't stop replaying in her mind, the man who makes her breath catch, who leaves her dripping with anticipation, who has her begging for more before you're even touching her. Here's the thing. Great lovers, they aren't born. They are built through skill, through presence, and through deep confidence that radiates in and out of the bedroom. That is exactly what my Legendary Lover training gives you. This isn't a list of bedroom hacks. It is a rewiring of who you are as a man, how you carry yourself, how you own your sexual desires, how you step into sex with complete freedom and clarity. In the Legendary Lover training, you will learn practices that expand your confidence, sharpen your focus, and ground you so deeply that she feels it in every touch, in every look, and in every breath. Because when you master yourself, she feels it. And that is what makes you unforgettable in bed. I have led countless men through this training and through these practices, and they have walked out completely changed, more confident, more commanding, and more sexually magnetic. And right now, because I'm launching this for the first time, you are going to get in at a discount that I will never run again. So head on over to thenakedconnection.com/lover, LOVER, before this discount disappears. Don't just be good in bed. Be legendary.
First of all, the awareness of it is huge. The fact that you're even asking yourself questions or starting to discover, for anyone listening, like whether you're in it for a while and you notice your patterns but can't stop, or like you're starting to notice it. That's huge. Awareness and waking up. You wake up to yourself, you wake up to others, right? It's a beautiful thing to wake up. The first step is, right, grounding techniques. It'll get you out of that freaking out first, because you're now gonna start to be aware of things trigger me, things bother me, things hurt. What are these emotions? It'll get them away from me. Oh, what is this pattern? Oh, I don't like this person. Why am I dating them? What is this? So you start noticing these things. The first thing is that it's like ground. Just learn grounding techniques. And those are a little bit more than just breath work, because sometimes we don't want to be in the present moment when the present moment has never been safe and the present moment doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to learn, because I tried to meditate a long time ago and I couldn't seem to sit still. And it was driving me nuts because I was spinning my wheels and I was having panic attacks. And it finally hit me, like I got still long enough to have this download, because I started doing grounding techniques, or was like, oh, why would I want to be still when for me, the present moment's never been safe? I don't want to be unsafe. I really harp on grounding techniques first, which is go for a walk, look around, bilateral eye movement, engage your five senses. It tricks your brain into thinking that you're getting away from danger. Ice cold showers, ice on the back of your neck, or I think it's ice on the palm. Anything that drops your temperature drops your cortisol. That's the first step, because it's difficult to try and access your subconscious or access what's actually going on and find the patterns if you're in a tizzy, if you're trauma dumping everywhere and nervous. So ground first, get to neutral. Because if you're super depressed or you're really angry or upset, it's difficult to see things. You're going to filter it through like a meh. So process, ground, try and move the energy. Energy is emotion in motion. Step 2 is start identifying the patterns and where did they originate. So if I have a pattern for me, one of my patterns was, I broke this one all the time. I had a boundary for the longest time. No emotionally unavailable people in my life. None. No emotionally unstable, no emotionally ungrounded, no emotionally mature, no emotionally unavailable. Can't. And it's not because of them. It's because of me. Because growing up, I was around it so much that that's familiar to me. And naturally, I try and fix that. It throws me off. It makes my stomach clench. It puts me in fear, makes me feel like I'm not good enough, makes me feel like I need to fix you in order to receive love. It's part of my wounding, but I kept doing it until I really faced it. So step 2 is actually be okay with facing it. You don't have to run from it. What's really interesting is a lot of people assume when they come to me, if they're in a toxic relationship, really, and a really bad one, they think that they have to, coach, I know, I just got to cut this off. And I was like, actually, no. Because if you cut this off, you're just going to either run back to it or you're going to just do the same thing. Now, if it's someone where they're beating you and then there's a gun, and I've had some clients like that and I have experience with that, then no, okay, then I might be like, get out, get out, get out. We'll fix you when you just get out, and then we'll go through all the things. And then they might go back to the person a little bit, but they're not living with them, or they might call them, or they might go get with some, but it's not as bad. So the next one is give yourself as much compassion and love and understanding as humanly possible. If you want kindness, love, respect, inspiration, then what you put inside of you, what you do for you to be a vibrational match is you start doing that for yourself first. That's first and foremost. Then we can start looking at, oh, the reason why you get with emotion unavailable or toxic is because it's familiar. Let's go back. Let's flip the script and flip the memories on how you felt as a child. Let's do some inner child work, reframe your neural system, reparent, reprogram, and then do a new neural pathway where when you're presented with 2 options, you don't go for the red flag like a bull. So that one looks terrible. Let's do that. It's luck is actually a neural pathway. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, he had some issues, but Kobe Bryant tapped into it. That's why I was saying that, like, when you know this stuff and you know the information, it gets very, very, very easy. Very easy. I have a problem. I want this thing over here, but this is what my voice is telling me. Let me regulate. Let me ground. Let me do the limiting belief work. Let me flip that memory from where it comes from. Now let me do journal and meditation so I can slow down, so I can process when I'm getting triggered and I'm about to move with the trigger. Confirmation bias, self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm about to get more of toxicity. Or let me pause. Let me do the unknown thing. Let me do this thing. It actually, my nervous system feels really good with this. And according to what I want in life, that's actually a match for it. So slow down. But it's that. It's a mix of diving deep and also behavioral changes, slowing down to make better choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
It's a lot too. It's step one, identify ground. Go within, face it. Why am I here? What is this trying to show me?
yeah. Walking through this, you mentioned something that I want to like double click on here because I think it's interesting. Is once someone gets to the point where they have slowed down and they're looking at this is my old option and this is the new option. And maybe they're like, I'm not picking the old option anymore. However, this new option, it's not exciting. It's not giving me the sparks. It's not because I think what can happen is we get so comfortable in the uncomfortable or we get comfortable in the chaos. And once the chaos is gone, like this healthy, incredible person in whatever way, shape, or form that might look, feels or seems meh. So
Okay,
then
so
someone's just going throughout the world.
actually,
Yeah, take it.
that would mean that you didn't choose the different option.
Oh,
Yeah, that I did that. That would actually mean that you're doing again, confirmation bias and self-fulfilling prophecy. What you did was you tried to subconsciously pick a choice that makes you justified to picking the chaos again. You're actually just making yourself miss the chaos. So we didn't integrate the lesson.
yeah. And part of me asked that in because of like the pattern you're talking about here. And then also I think like when I speak with people about dating now, they're like, oh, like no one is exciting to me. Like I'm not I haven't met anybody that I'm interested in. And I have been trying to figure out what that is all about. I was listening to something a while back and they were talking about how like it could be a potential like dopamine overload where we're just like being exposed to so much stimulus and so much constant input that when you go to actually meet someone on a date that like they aren't bringing up your hormones basically because everything is already on overdrive as it is. That was like one thing that I thought was interesting, but like what do you think happens?
I think it might be both. I think it might be depending on the person's past. If they're addicted to highs and lows and they've been in a lot of abusive relationships, then they need a cleanse. They need a like reset and they need to learn. They don't need to. You can do whatever you want to. I would recommend. And based on me too, I'm an addict. I'm 8 years clean and sober. And I was so addicted to highs and lows without even realizing it. And I didn't want to. But so what happens is when you have chaos inside of you and you're not eliciting, this is never the second part that it could be, but also is at the same time. If you're not eliciting your own excitement and you're not excited with your own life and you're not comfortable with being still with yourself too, then being still with someone else is going to bore the shit out of you. You're going to be the chaos. The chaos is you. If you chose chaos, take away the chaos. That was you. You chose that. That's in you. You need to pull that out. Otherwise, you're going to bring your bullshit to someone else and be like, they're boring. Ooh, you got
I like so appreciate the directness because I think it can be really hard for someone to look at their life and this is like I'm taking complete ownership of the reality that I'm living in because that's really in a lot of ways on me.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that. I did 12-step programs and first time I ever really faced my stuff because I was the victim to my life by accident and I didn't mean to. And honestly, I was a victim. I had a lot of things happen where people were like, oh yeah, no, that's awful. I would drink and do drugs over that too. But it doesn't matter because other people didn't and other people wouldn't and other people would get help and I didn't. So I, by accident, perpetuated my trauma it was still trapped in my body. Even if you were to fix your mindset, your body can tense up. If you're not familiar with good, it can reject good because if that's not familiar to you, you're going to doubt it, you're going to question it, and then you're going to push it away.
Yeah.
So we have to do that inner work on, what does good and healthy feel like? Let me give myself that. But yeah, right. To your other point is like, doesn't mean it's going to be boring.
For the guy that's listening to this right now, and he's okay, I'm catching on to what they're saying here about what could be unfolding in my life. In the dating space, how else do you see this show up? Maybe they're sitting there wondering, is that a pattern or is that just happenstance? Like, what are do you have any like common themes that come up in dating for men?
The dating app one, I think, is common. There's no one on the dating app, so they can't get a date on the dating app. That's common. Let's see what else. Oh, a common grievance is women don't want to date. And so men are scared that women don't want to date. And so they can't get a woman. What this is that it's just fear mongering. Yes, there are more women that are single right now, but that's just because finally in the 80s, we were allowed to get a personal loan out and get a business loan out without a male signator. It's really, we don't, and for some of that, men are shaming other men and they're fear mongering you with the women don't like men. And then it's getting spoon fed to you and jacking your nervous system on the algorithm. If you click a red pill thing, you're going to get more dumb red pill stuff. You're not going to get the truth. You're going to get someone else's anger projected out. So some of the grievances are like, according to the statistic, women aren't dating as much. And that's called a correlation fallacy. The statistic is just saying that men and women aren't willing to stay in toxic patterns and relationships because there's still women getting married. There's still men getting married. There's still babies being made. What you're also looking at is our economy is tanking. And I'm sorry, but when the economy is tanking and you can't afford groceries, people don't get horny. That's a little bit different. If you can't actually afford to eat and feed yourself, then no, you're in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, it's very difficult to want to procreate and to want to date, right? You're in survival. So for men out there, if you're dating someone and you've gotten out of survival mode, you've learned to ground, you've learned to feel abundance, you've learned to navigate through these times, you'll also want to pick a woman who also is regulated, who is not in survival mode, who knows how to get out of that. Now, that way you guys can navigate these situations together. You want to find a partner, not a project. Women have no problem with a quality man. But here's what we're hearing, and here's where it can sound really scary. Social media just gives a microphone to pain. That's all. But people are in pain. And when they're in pain and they wake up to that pain, the first thing that they do is scream, just like a child. When a child's being abused, the first thing that they do is they scream for help. Or they get so numbed in silence where they suppress it all and then they explode. We see that in the world today. So I understand that's like you're hearing women screaming because there's been a lot of grievances. You're hearing men screaming because, again, there's been some grievances, right? As you heal and as you regulate, like for women, we know that if you want to get a quality man, you have to heal from the ones that hurt you. It's not fair. It's not always fair. But if I want to show up fully for an amazing man, I need to heal. So with men out there, here's a different perspective of looking at it. When you heal and you become that man that shows up for himself and he's capable of showing up for others and you've removed your pain, you have the pick of a litter.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of these women that are like, yeah, thank you. Welcome. Yeah. A lot of women just aren't willing to take on the pain of others.
Oh my gosh, you have so much fire. I can just feel it. And I am so glad that you came on to share this and to inspire, hopefully, all of the men that are listening today to take a look inside and at what's happening in my life that I'm not happy with, and how is that actually a reflection of me, and what can I do about it? Because it totally is possible to shift and change that. Yeah.
It really is. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. And this conversation and the question. Thank you very much. Those are very beautiful questions.
Yeah. Natalie, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Naked Connection. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Trust me on this, your sex life and that special someone in your life will thank you for it. And if you really love the show, please take a moment and leave a 5-star review or a written review and let me know what you think. It would mean so much to me and this show. Until next time, happy connecting.